Ooh, wow, that is not a good look for Miracle Ear. Hey guys, Cliff Olson, Doctor of Audiology and founder of Applied Hearing Solutions in Phoenix, Arizona, and in this video, I'm reacting to a Channel 7 news investigation where an Illinois couple says that they purchased hearing aids that didn't help, and when they asked for a refund, the clinic refused. Alright, so this story is disturbing on so many levels. Not only does it involve a clinic that refused to refund a couple $8,000 for hearing aids that didn't work, but there are elements of this couple's journey that should never happen if you go and get hearing aids from a local hearing aid clinic. So if you want to avoid a nightmare situation like this that requires the help of an investigative news team to help you get your money back, then you're going to want to watch this, because in this short 4-minute video, there are so many red flags it's almost hard to count. Now, if you like me doing reaction videos like this one, do me a huge favor and click the like button. It really helps out the channel. And if you want to make sure that you get notified every single time I publish a new video, make sure that you hit the subscribe button with notification bell. That being said, let's go ahead and get started.
West suburban man says he thought he would hear better, but about $8,000 later, he claims his Miracle Ear hearing aid wasn't properly working. He and his wife say the company wouldn't refund them, so they called the I-Team.
It makes me feel very sad.
Barb and Walter Fuja of Carroll Stream thought Walter's hearing troubles would improve after getting this Miracle Ear.
I told him my husband couldn't hear, that I wanted the best for him.
They paid a $1,200 deposit, and they say Miracle Ear helped them finance another $6,765 through a third-party company.
All right, so we have our first set of red flags here, and there's about 5 of them right off the bat. First, when we look at the purchase agreement, everything is filled out by hand. Now, if you live in a small town with just a mom and pop hearing aid shop that you go and get your hearing aids from, and you don't spend a lot of money, I would expect them to have a lot of handwritten records there. However, this couple is being charged just shy of $8,000. This hearing aid purchase took place in 2025, and this clinic is still using handwritten purchase agreements. Virtually all current-day office management software systems create purchase agreements electronically to make sure that they are accurate and to make sure that they're legible. If this clinic is still using handwritten purchase agreements, how up-to-date do you think the clinic is when it comes to equipment that they're going to use to treat your hearing loss? Will they have verification equipment like real ear measurement? Will they have a sound booth to ensure accurate testing? Will they have an audiometer that uses recorded speech information to make sure that your test results are valid? Do they have test box equipment to make sure that the hearing aids they dispense are meeting manufacturer specifications? Honestly, if they're still using old school handwritten purchase agreements, I would highly doubt that they have any of this equipment in their office. The second red flag is that the unit price for their hearing aids comes out to $8,990 with a $1,200 discount. Many clinics offer a discount as a sales tactic to get you to say yes to hearing treatment. How many legitimate clinics out there do you think there are that offer you a massive discount on your treatment? What if you went to get a knee replacement and the physician said, well, normally a knee would cost this much, but I'm going to give you a discount, so it's only going to cost you that much? I could understand if they were paying all cash, but this particular couple is financing over $6,500 of that purchase. And I know that the clinic is going to incur anywhere between a 5 to 10% fee from the financing company. Third, the Miracle Ear Care Plan is free with not 1, but 2 exclamation points. Now, if the care plan is free, how high of quality do you think those services are going to be when you get them in that clinic? This is why a lot of clinics do bundled care, so you can't really quantify what percentage of your purchase is going to the quality of care versus the cost of the devices themselves. Not to mention, the agreement doesn't even tell you how long that care plan is for. I mean, it could be for the lifetime of the hearing aids, it could be for the duration of the hearing aid warranty, it could be for the first 30 days of the hearing aid treatment. Nobody knows unless it was verbally mentioned. The fourth red flag that I see is that they actually highlighted with a highlighter the discount and the free care plan on the purchase agreement. This is a sales tactic to divert your attention away from the really high numbers on the purchase agreement and focus on all the things that you're getting for free or at a discount. And the fifth red flag on this purchase agreement is that the hearing aids they're purchasing are second tier Miracle Ear Energy 4 hearing aids instead of the top tier Energy 5 hearing aids. While second tier hearing aids are really good hearing aids, I'm a little shocked that the price before the discount on these hearing aids is nearly $4,500 per device. I can only imagine how much a top tier premium level hearing aid would cost from Miracle Ear. It's probably somewhere around $6,000 per hearing aid. And the only way that that price would be worth it, in my opinion, is if you received excellent, top-notch, best practice audiologic care. All right, geez, we are only 35 seconds into this video. We've already got 5 red flags, but don't worry, there's a lot more. Let's get back to it.
So then he put him in his ear, and he goes down the hall, and he says, "Do you hear me now?" And Wally said, "Yeah, I hear you now."
Okay, that's the biggest red flag in this entire video. Basically, what she's saying is that the provider initially programmed the hearing aids for Wally. Then the provider walked down the hallway and said, "Do you hear me now?" And Wally's like, "Yeah, I hear you now." This is not a legitimate way to verify that hearing aids have been programmed correctly. This is just as bad as asking someone after you initially fit them with hearing aids, "How does that sound?" Neither one of those questions indicate whether or not those hearing aids have actually been programmed the right way. On top of that, in many cases, the way that things sound inside of a nice, quiet office is completely different than the real world. So to solve for this, the hearing care professional should be performing real ear measurement in the office to verify the hearing aid programming. In fact, real ear measurement is the only way to verify that your hearing aids have been programmed properly to your hearing loss prescription, so you can effectively hear in quiet environments and noisy environments. It requires specialized equipment where your provider places probe microphone tubes inside of your ear canals and measures the amount of amplification you're receiving from your hearing aids. Then they need to adjust your amplification levels in the programming software to match your average, loud, and soft level hearing loss prescriptive targets to ensure that you're receiving the correct amount of amplification to overcome your hearing loss. Real ear measurement is the gold standard when it comes to verifying the programming of your hearing aids, and if you're spending $8,000 on a pair of devices, you should absolutely have it done. If your hearing care professional fits you with hearing aids and they ask you, "How does that sound?" or "Can you hear me now?" instead of performing real ear measurement, I would immediately take those hearing aids out of my ears, politely hand them back to the hearing care professional, and leave the office without paying anything, and I would tell all of my family and friends not to go to that clinic to get hearing aids. But don't worry, it gets better, guys.
Weeks later, the hearing aids were not helping Walter's hearing.
They take them in the back and they play with them a little bit and they bring them back out and they'll say, "How does that sound?" And it does usually sound a little better.
What did I just say? Okay, so there's a few things here. Number one, if you need adjustments on your hearing aids, your provider should not be taking them to a back room and playing with them a little bit. Adjustments should be made while the hearing aids are in your ears and the hearing care professional is explaining to you what they're actually doing, even if you don't fully understand what they're talking about. This is actually something that drove me crazy when I was in grad school. We were required to take the hearing aids from our patients, go into the back room with all the feedback that the patient gave us from the week prior, make adjustments on those hearing aids, and give them back to the patient. I was not able to educate my patient on what the problem was or what I did, nor could they experience the adjustments that I was making in real time. Eventually, I just started taking my patients into the back room so they could see what I was doing to their programming and so they could tell me if I was actually fixing their problem. And again, a hearing care professional asking you, "How does that sound?" provides us with absolutely no value that we can use to better program your hearing aids. All it does is create a little bit of placebo effect for you because you know that we tinkered with the programming, so they must be better, right? Maybe not. At this point, who really cares, right?
After repeated visits, they say the hearing aids would work briefly, but then stop working again. This purchase agreement says if a customer is not satisfied or provided with enhanced hearing within 30 days, they can make an exchange or get a full refund minus 10%.
And every time we left hearing, and 2 or 3 days later, we weren't hearing.
All right, a couple new things to unpack here. So if the hearing aids work for the first few days and then they stop working, it's either a maintenance related issue like earwax is plugging up the hearing aids and preventing sound from making it into your ears, or those hearing aids are actually malfunctioning. This means that making sure that you are trained and understand how to clean your own hearing aids is vitally important. Now, this hearing care professional may have done that for these individuals, but it also means that diagnostics should be performed on these hearing aids using a hearing instrument test box. Unfortunately, very few hearing aid clinics actually teach you how to perform proper care and maintenance on your own hearing aids, and even less clinics use a test box to ensure that the hearing aids they're dispensing are meeting manufacturer specifications. A test box will tell us if a hearing aid is meeting specs for output, gain, distortion, and noise levels, and this is not something that you can check by just doing a listening check of the hearing aids. If the hearing aids are not within the tolerance ranges of each of these measures, then those hearing aids need to either be repaired in office or sent back to the manufacturer to be repaired or replaced. Again, this is something that can easily be identified by a hearing aid clinic that follows comprehensive best practices and should be done by a clinic that's charging you $8,000 for a pair of hearing aids. The other thing that I picked out from the full screenshot of the purchase agreement is the healthy plan financing monthly payment of $174 per month, which of course is highlighted as well. Now, typically when you're financing a pair of hearing aids, the terms of the financing should be indicated. However, these terms are probably on the documentation from the financing company. Now, I don't know exactly what the terms are of this financing. It could be a 60-month high interest plan, or it could be a 48-month low interest plan. Now, if financing is the only way that you can afford hearing aid treatment, I say go ahead and do it, even though I'm a big Dave Ramsey fan. And if you're stressed out about the monthly payment, you can always go with a lower technology level and still get a lot of benefit from hearing aids and spend less money. And this is coming from a guy who runs a high-end audiology clinic in the Phoenix area that charges a premium for high-level technology and audiologic care. Another thing that stood out is that they are charging 25% of the original cost of the hearing aids if you have to file a loss and damage claim. So if he loses one of his hearing aids, it's going to cost him around $973 to get that hearing aid replaced, which is on the high end of the industry standard. For instance, this is over double what my clinic costs to replace a loss and damage hearing aid from a manufacturer. But I do understand that cost of doing business is different everywhere, and they're in Carroll Stream, Illinois. Now, a 30-day return window is totally customary across numerous states in the United States. The state of Illinois actually mandates that hearing aid clinics give you a 30-day return opportunity, less a restocking fee. And in my opinion, the 10% restocking fee is more than acceptable in this case. The only problem with this is that if you only have a 30-day window to evaluate the performance of hearing aids, and you keep going back in and they keep making adjustments, and you keep going back in and they make more adjustments, you're going to quickly run out of that time. And if you go one day beyond that 30-day return window, they are not obligated to give you your money back. All right, let's see what else they got.
The Fuges say Miracle Ear would not take the product back and give them a refund, so they stopped making those monthly payments.
That is something that you do not want to do. So you have to remember, when you finance a pair of hearing aids through a third party like Healthy Plan, I believe is the one that they used here, that financial arrangement is between you and the financing company, not between you and the clinic. If it was past 30 days, which it was because you wouldn't even start making payments until 30 days has passed, then the clinic likely had all of the documentation that they would need in order to give the financing company to prove that you were on the hook for making those payments. And if this couple refused to make their payments to the financing company, they would go to collections or go to court, and the hearing aid clinic would be off scot-free.
Miracle Ear has an F rating.
That Better Business Bureau rating was an F for Miracle Ear headquarters in Minneapolis when we did our interview with the BBB in December of 2025. However, after the I-team reached out to Miracle Ear, the BBB changed it to a not rated status in January. The BBB says that change can happen when information is updated or when a company begins responding to previously unanswered complaints.
The low rating here is due to inconsistent responses to customer concerns. Number one, service or repair problems after the sale. Number two, disappointment with how the hearing aids perform. And then number three, questions around promotions or solicitations.
Miracle Ear says it takes concerns seriously and points out that the local store where the Fuges got their product has an A+ rating with the BBB. The company says those 103 national complaints to its headquarters represent approximately 0.03% of 350,000 customers. The company says it can't comment on individual cases, but said, "At Miracle Ear, we greatly value customer feedback and remain steadfastly committed to delivering exceptional service and satisfaction. We are always pleased when customers share their appreciation for the support they've received at Miracle Ear locations."
Now, in defense of Miracle Ear, I am not a big fan of the Better Business Bureau. Accreditation with the Better Business Bureau is a pay-to-play scheme. They have no idea if you're actually good or not. Anytime a company has an A+ rating or even an F rating, I would take that with a huge grain of salt. In fact, personally, I view a company more favorably if they did not pay the Better Business Bureau to get accredited. I don't know why that frustrates me so much.
The Fuges got this $1,000 refund check for their deposit, but after the I-team alerted the local store owner, he said he wanted to further resolve the issue. He upped the refund amount by getting them another check for $200, and documents show the store paid off that $6,765 financed through the third-party company.
All right, there we go. It just confirmed that it was a 48-month low APR plan that they used to finance those hearing aids. This means that by the end of the term, they would have paid a total of $9,552.33 for a $7,965.33 hearing aid treatment. Honestly, that's not too bad if the hearing aids actually worked.
I can't tell you how wonderful it is that you did that. You really are a blessing to many people.
They say they bought a less expensive pair of hearing aids from another company, and they say those hearing aids work well. Rob, Cheryl, always read policies carefully before making a large purchase or financing. If you are unhappy, demand a refund quickly if you qualify, but of course we are very happy for that couple tonight.
Okay, overall it sucks that it took a local news team to reach out to the clinic to actually get a resolution for these individuals. Honestly, I kind of sympathize with the owner a little bit because it was clearly the staff that were working at that location that didn't really handle the situation that well. On the other hand, it is the responsibility of the owner to ensure that their staff actually know how to successfully treat hearing loss, have all the equipment to do so, and have an understanding on how to resolve these difficult situations. I am extremely happy to hear that the couple got all of their money back and actually went to a different clinic, spent less money on hearing aids, and had a better outcome. This clearly illustrates that the quality of the care from the clinic you go to is significantly more important than the hearing aids and how much money you spent on those devices. The only other thing that I'll say about that video is that if the Channel 7 news team was unable to get this couple a refund for those Miracle Ear devices, they could have only taken those hearing aids to a different Miracle Ear location. This is because Miracle Ear hearing aids are locked, meaning that no other clinic can access the programming of those hearing aids or service those hearing aids. They do this to effectively prevent you from seeking out help elsewhere and forces you to come back to them. And if all of the Miracle Ear locations in your area do not have good quality providers who follow best practices, you're basically out of luck. At the end of the day, you are much safer going to my website, hearingup.com, and finding a Hearing Up network member in your area. In order to be a member of Hearing Up, you have to follow comprehensive audiologic best practices so situations like this don't happen to you, and Hearing Up members cannot sell locked hearing aids, meaning that you could take those hearing aids elsewhere if you wanted to. What I like the most about this Channel 7 news investigation is that it really illustrates how important it is for you to educate yourself on your hearing loss and hearing aid options. While it is extremely unlikely that you would have this bad of an experience at a different hearing aid clinic, including a different Miracle Ear hearing aid clinic, it actually happens more than you would know. But I want to hear from you. Have you ever encountered a situation like this? If you have, let me know in the comment section, and I just might reach out to interview you on the channel. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.